Comes to Russell Westbrook and the Los Angeles Lakers, Russell Westbrook has really had a rough go around in the last handful of games or so. He did have that really nice game in New York, and that's the type of Russell Westbrook that we see, and it's like, man, this guy really could make this team terrifying if he could play like that consistently night in and night out. But on the offensive end, for the most part, this last, 7-game stretch, he's really had some challenges and obstacles. And look, Russell Westbrook, he went from playing a specific way and being a specific type player to essentially overnight having to change his game entirely, become a sixth man, come off the bench, be a playmaker, which the consistent things he's done is playmaking. He's done a great job and leading the team in assists currently. And defensively, he's been really good defensively. Even last night, he had some great defensive stances. And he does a really good job just defending bigger players in general. He's one of the better defensive guards in the league and has really kind of been a standout in that area. But just offensively, production-wise, he hasn't really been able to find that. He hasn't really been able to find that balance of scoring and playmaking. 2 of 16 it's just not going to cut it. We're not winning. We're struggling to win games the more he plays like that. No, and I'm not saying he has to shoot 80% from the field or anything like that. And I don't mind when he shoots threes, but it depends on how he's shooting them, right? If he's going early into the shot clock, pull up, half court, take a couple steps, pull up three. No, that's not going to do it for us, right? That's not what we need Russell Westbrook to be doing. Or even operating in the mid-range and taking early shot clock, just shots in general. But if he's wide open on the kick out, shoot the ball, right? You're wide open. You're an NBA player. Even if you miss 9 out of 10 times, you're disrupting the flow of the offense, and we see it all the time. Russ, he hesitates to take that shot, and he instead puts the ball on the floor, and then it's just this awkward scramble offensively that just is just this cluster, and guys aren't in position anymore, where if Russ is there, and we've seen him more times than not, when he knocks down the three, it's when he doesn't really think about it. It's usually towards the end of the shot clock, or no, he just catches and shoots it immediately, stuff like that. We see him when he's not thinking about it and he's not in his own head shooting-wise. He's actually pretty decent at shooting the three ball. But as soon as he starts to think about it and dwell on it and kind of reconfigure, okay, is this what I want to do? Like that, as soon as that happens, it becomes a disaster. And he needs to just shoot the ball. Got Anthony Davis, you got guys in position that are ready for you to shoot the ball, expecting you to shoot the ball, then you don't do it and it becomes a cluster, right? So that's something that I'd like to see him do more. And you knock down a couple, right? All of a sudden now teams have to defend you. But this team in general just doesn't really fit Russell Westbrook, right? One of the big things that LeBron James needs is shooting, right? Guys around the perimeter that can knock down shots. Well, Russell Westbrook does too. A lot of the same things that LeBron needs, so does Russell Westbrook. And I just don't think the Lakers have a way of getting what they need to get with Russell Westbrook, right? If the Lakers could find a way to get 2 or 3 shooters, if you could find a way to get Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burke or something like that, to play alongside Russell Westbrook, then I absolutely believe Russell Westbrook could change his game, because now you have that threat of the outside shot to where Russ is going to have the floor open more. Obviously, LeBron James too, Anthony Davis, even Dennis Schroeder, all of our slashing guys. But if you had shooters around Russell Westbrook, he'd be more effective, which means he could get to the basket easier, which means a lot of his shots wouldn't be him just trying to force a layup over, 5 defenders. I think that that's a big problem too. But he's had stretches where he looks really good offensively, and he's still very explosive. He still gives the Lakers an incredible change of pace. I mean, the big reason we are top 2 in pace, fast break, and all that stuff is because of Russell Westbrook. But I also feel a lot of the whole trade rumors and speculations maybe is weighing on him a little bit, right? We saw this a lot last year too, where Russell Westbrook immediately started getting in trade conversations because it wasn't really working. He had some nice stretches, he had some nice games, and then we got to the closer to the trade deadline, and there was that looming fate of like, is Russell Westbrook going to get traded? And he was really struggling. And we're kind of seeing that again right now. That sort of unknown of like, is Russell Westbrook going to be on the Lakers come the trade deadline, or are they going to trade him for something else? Right? The Hornets trade. We got a bunch of reports the last few days about the Hornets and the Lakers talking Russell Westbrook trades. You have the Toronto Raptors deal, right? Where you could maybe get Gary Trent and Fred VanVleet. If something ends up happening and Russ ends up going, well, then that changes a lot. So there may be this form of Russell Westbrook that once he's on the team, assuming he doesn't get traded, I think if the Lakers find a good trade that they believe in, I do think that Russell Westbrook is a goner. I do think they will trade him. But let's say that after the trade deadline, Russell Westbrook is still on the team. I hope that Russell Westbrook can get back into form. I'm hoping that Russell Westbrook can say, okay, I'm on the team. I'm here for the rest of the year. Let's lock in, right? Let's produce better. I need to play better. I need to continue to be playmaker, which he has been giving us. You're going to have the bad moments. That's going to happen. That's always been Russ his entire career. He's had these bad moments, but he's had these absolute moments of brilliance, and you're just like, man, this guy, that's why he's a Hall of Famer, right? That's why he's a top 75 player all time. That's why, he's Mr. Triple-Double, Russell Westbrook, right? And then you have these moments where it's like, just get this guy off the team, right? And it's just, he needs to find consistency, which is tough, and especially come playoff time. But I just think ultimately they're going to have to trade him. I would love nothing more than Russell Westbrook to win a championship with the Lakers. And I think deep down, most people, even people that hate the idea of Russell Westbrook on the team, I think most people would be all those same people that are like, get Russ off the team, he's this, that, and the other. If Russell Westbrook was a big part of us winning a championship, all those same people would be like, I love Russ, you're the greatest. They all be at the parade trying to get a high five from him and signing autographs, right? It's just how it goes. But me personally, I would love for Russell Westbrook to be on this Laker team and us to win a championship and Russ have that moment, right? But the reality of it is I just don't think the Lakers are going to be able to do that with Russ. Now, look, we get to the playoffs. You have LeBron James, you have Anthony Davis. If Russell Westbrook can consistently in the playoffs play like he did against like the Knicks and a few other teams this season, where he's just like this 18-10 guy, borderline triple-double, just making good decisions, closing down the stretch. We saw that game. I mean, he was closing, and he was making great decisions down the stretch. Defensively, guarding Julius Randle, just sunning Julius Randle. That's the Russell Westbrook that you look at and go, man, imagine how good we would be if we had that Russ night in and night out. And to Russ's credit, we are, our entire bench production comes from Russell Westbrook. When Russell Westbrook hasn't played or he doesn't play with the bench unit, the bench unit is non-existent. I mean, badly. So Russ is valuable in that sense. But it's the fit and the clunkiness, and it's not having the talent and the pieces around Russell Westbrook for him to be effective. A lot of the same things that LeBron James needs, so does Russell Westbrook, right? LeBron operates best as a driving and kicking type player, right? A playmaker. I get to the hoop, back to basket, dump it off to the rolling big man, or I kick it out to my shooter. If the defense doesn't collapse, then I just got an easy layup. Let's do that. Same thing with Russ. That's how Russ operates. Let me slash, the rolling big man. Let me dump it off to him, which he does great. He does beautifully, right? Anthony Davis, when Anthony Davis was having that monster stretch, even the game last night, you saw several moments where AD was just feasting on Russell Westbrook passes. The Knicks game, he had that nice little wraparound. And it's just, so that's what this is. And unless they end up, moving Patrick Beverley, right? If they unload Patrick Beverley and Russ kind of gets to stay with the team and they can find some pieces and Russ can maybe get a shooter or two alongside him and you have some proper sets, then maybe Russ can kind of be more consistent. Also, not having the looming thought of, well, okay, if I'm going to be traded tomorrow, I might get traded tomorrow or whatever. That I think could actually go a long way for him and his confidence as well. I think a lot of it is just confidence, right? He has like no confidence in his shot, even the mid range. It's amazing to me where Russell Westbrook has gone. He actually had a really good mid range for a long time in his career. Free throw shooting, he was like an 82% free throw shooter for a long time of his career. And he's just became a terrible free throw shooter, a terrible mid range shooter. He's just too one dimensional now, and teams are going to expose that. But if you could unload Patrick Beverley and let's say you keep Russ, and I'm not saying that they should keep Russ, I don't necessarily think they will keep Russ. But it is a possibility. The Lakers are trying to find a trade for Russell Westbrook. If they cannot find one, they're not just going to trade him for the sake of trading him. They're not just going to give up both first-round picks just to unload Russ, and nor should they. It makes no sense. But if you could take Patrick Beverley and like Lonnie Walker or something and go get a piece or two that does make sense, that could be shooters around Russ, that other teams have to respect, then that might make things a lot more easier for Russell Westbrook and boost his confidence more, and then maybe his shot and all of that stuff, right? Because, again, he's had a good mid-range. When he's shooting with confidence and he's shooting just with no real thought, it's just reactionary, he actually is a good shooter. But as soon as he starts thinking about it, or as soon as he takes those first two shots, that's it. And it's no coincidence. You'll see Russ knock down a three, and then like a couple possessions later, he'll knock down his next three. Because he saw it go in, he's got that confidence, he's feeling a little good, a little shimmy shake, like let's go. Like that's just what Russ is, and that's who Russ is. When he has that confidence, he's confident. Like he'll shoot that first three and he misses. And then he'll shoot that second three and he misses. And then the third three just gets worse. And then and then if he does take a fourth three, it's just even worse than that. That's when you start seeing him airball and stuff. It's just, his game is just so predicated on him having that boat of confidence based on that initial shot or that initial moment or that big play. Like you'll see Russ have like a really good big play. And you're like, man, and the crowd's into it and he's hype and everything's good. And then you'll see like the next 3 or 4 plays where he's just boom, 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 boom. And you're like, man, let's go, Russ. Like, this is the Russ. Again, it's that confidence building, right? But when he's having those moments where he's struggling, he gets into his own head. And I just think that you add in the roster that doesn't fit him. You add in the clunky fit already inherently with LeBron James and him. And then on top of that, you add in him being the main trade chip for pretty much since he's gotten to the Lakers. And then you add in the fans, and you add in just the media, and you add in all of these factors. It's really hard for anybody to play well, let alone Russell Westbrook at a consistent level. And I don't know. I'm hoping that if Russ, and I'm not saying that he will be, I'm not saying that he should be, but I'm saying if Russ is on the roster after the trade deadline, I really hope that he has that confidence again of like, okay, I'm here on this team for at least the rest of the season. Let's do this. Let's ride this out. Let's go make that push for the playoffs. Let's get into the playoffs. Let's go try to win a championship. That's my hope. And I don't think anyone would be surprised because at the end of the day, you still have Russell Westbrook, still have LeBron James, still have Anthony Davis. You're in a good spot. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think yes, it's all of these factors? Do you think no, it's just Russell Westbrook? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comment section.